Welcome back. We are live from Los Angeles. I'm Ryan Smith, and right behind me, right over here, is the courthouse. Actually right over here is the courthouse where Conrad Murray will face trial in the death of Michael Jackson. He's facing involuntary manslaughter. And today's the day, folks. Opening statements. See that building right there? The Los Angeles County Criminal Courthouse. Opening statements happen tomorrow. And let me tell you, folks, this is the time where both sides outline their theory of the case. I want to start with Michael Barnes. Taking a look ahead to tomorrow, Michael Barnes, what do you expect the prosecution and the defense to really focus on in their opening statements?
I do think that the defense is going to try to spin Michael Jackson as a drug seeker, as one with a severe addiction who would do anything to get his hands on drugs, and that he was unstoppable when it came to his resources in trying to get his hands on propofol and other anti-anxiety medications. But 2/3 of the jury is going to be made up of people who have alcohol and drug addiction close to their homes. And that's going to be very important to both the defense as well as the prosecution, because the prosecution can then turn that argument around and say, yes, those of you who have this in your life, you know that these people are hard to deal with. But addiction is a brain disease, and it has to be managed medically. This person was hired at $150,000 a month and had an absolute obligation to keep this man safe and healthy.
All right, Rob Shooter, Kenny Ortega, expected to be the first witness. What do you expect him to offer? Tell us a little bit about him.
I think it's a really smart move putting Kenny up first. This is a Hollywood director that's worked with everybody from Madonna on her famous Material Girl video. He directed the big bomb Disney movie Newsies, and recently he directed High School Musical 1, 2, and 3. So he's worked in show business for a long time. The reason Kenny is going first, in my opinion, is that they want to present this side of Michael Jackson that we think we know. We know Michael the image. We know Michael the showman. What we don't know and what they don't want us to see is Michael the real human being. And Kenny did not know that man. He only knew him in a professional environment.
Wow, interesting. Mike Galano says you're looking forward to opening statements. What do you want to hear most of all from both sides, the prosecution and the defense?
Well, I'm anxious to hear how the defense is going to try and explain Dr. Murray's actions. And we've talked a lot about it over these last couple hours, Ryan, just that timeline, all the different either sedatives, anti-anxiety drugs that were given to Michael Jackson in the hours leading up to his death. How are you going to explain that away? I mean, are they going to go as far as to flat out say in opening Michael Jackson drank propofol himself and he administered his own lethal dose of propofol? Are we going to get that? Are they going to go that far, a la a Jose Baez, where you're kind of like, wow, they really went there, and that's how far they're going here. I'm most anxious to hear, because I think we know what the prosecution's going to say. They're going to hold up this timeline and say, explain it, and you really can't, Conrad Murray.
Wow. You know, Michael Barnes, Michael Arnold's bringing up a good point, the wow factor. There's not really much a prosecutor can do in terms of a wow factor on a case that involves a timeline. They just need to explain what happened in their mindset. There's not a lot of shockers on their side, but do you expect a sort of wow opening statement from the defense to try to get these jurors sitting up and thinking about reasonable doubt?
Well, certainly it would be on the side of the prosecution that it's not possible for one to wake up from a coma and inject yourself or drink propofol and then die and not be able to be resuscitated all within 2 minutes. It's not possible.
I'll tell you what. It'll be very interesting to see what both sides have to offer. Thank you so much to all of our guests. Folks, we've been talking about Michael Jackson's drug use. I spoke to people who know Michael Jackson better than almost anybody out there about his drug use. That's coming up in just a few.